I'm just trying to get stuff out here about this group that lives in this neighborhood. Um, it's kind of hard to describe where people live here and there. Um, but in the past week or so, there's uh, one of the houses on. I take my doggy every day, a few times a day, walking around the block. I walk either around this way or I walk around this way, and then I come back up the alley. The alley is that way, and the main street, the front of my house, is that way, and and then there's another street over between. The alley is between. There's a row of houses there, and there's my row of houses along here. And so I go that way down the alley sometimes. Sometimes I'll go that way down the alley and then go up the houses on that way, or I go that way in the alley and go. Then I take a right and go around by the main street and back, and then up the alley. It just, but I always stay in this area usually. Um, but this time, well, before that, about in the week past or a week and a half past, I have seen in this corner house going down the alley, and it's a corner house, and they have a little backyard with a fenced in area within the fence. There's a fenced in yard, and then there's like a high fence in the one corner of their yard, and they keep dogs in there at times. Um, in the past, I've noticed all different kinds of dogs, but a lot of times it's a pug, um, and in the past it was like a Labrador, like a golden or yellow lab. Um, they're there for a while, and then they're gone, and then it's replaced by other dogs. And so this past week or so, it's been a black lab and a pug, and before that, it was like a younger pug, and then like a few days before that, it was an old pug in the by itself in the backyard. Um, and and then they disappear. They're there for a few days and then they disappear. And this black lab was there with the pug, uh, and then they both disappeared this past couple days. I haven't seen either one of them. This latest pug, and it's usually it's just a line of pugs there, um, and then bigger dogs. Um, and so I went for a walk today around with my puppy, carrying my puppy, because there's it's kind of rough for her little feet. So I carry her, and I don't have a leash. I haven't gotten a leash yet, but so I walked over. I turned right on the alley and then left and then went up, and I heard like the earlier I had seen the little boy. He was out there, and it was not that warm out, and he was out there naked playing on the little slide that they have there, all by himself in the backyard, in the out of the alley. And then but later on, just recently, I went with my doggie in the front, and I didn't see the little boy, but the little girl was out there with the weird father-like person. But it looked like a different little girl from the one I had seen at times. This was, one of the other little blonde girls that are there. Um, so strange. So I decided to cross the street there and walk across the street from them because I didn't want to have any interactions with these people. And so when I walked down next door to them, which is the house directly across the alley from where I live, in the back, and there's a cottage there with a weird guy there, very strange guy, and then there's a house in front of that, which is what I was across the street from in passing. And there's in his yard, I've always noticed that there's like he's got arranged for decoration a little bed of bones, like bleached bones there, and it looks like it could be dog bones. I don't know, but it's just really creepy and weird, and so I was walking across the street, and here was this black lab that had been, I'm sure it was the same one, that had been in that caged in area, in their yard in the corner house down on the same side, same street. And there was this woman out there. She was like kind of ranting and stuff, when I saw the two dogs, the pug and the black lab there in the corner, and she was kind of talking, and she sounded really weird. And there's always different women there, different people there. And so I went, and here was this black lab in this guy's bleached, boned yard, just standing there looking all confused. It was an older dog, and just standing there looking all confused in the yard, and then they disappear, and I know this dog is, something's going to happen, because I think this is a cult, and they do things with the dogs. That's my idea, that what they do with the dogs, that they sacrifice them, or do these like rituals, or also they could have like training sessions for some of the children around here. Like they encourage the children, they use the children in some way, but they encourage the children to like hurt the animals, for their little cult activities. It's so strange around here. And so if I can get it out there that these people are doing these weird things, and also they're doing it, I think they oftentimes, I'm kind of their project too, that they want a reaction out of me for whatever reason. It could be a monetary thing. They want to, either it's like the real estate around here, they've kind of snapped up all the real estate around here, and there's a lot of young men and women that are moving in around here, and it's like, I don't know, it's a whole different feeling around here, that there's just different people that are moving in around here, but they've still got the same ones that do the weird things, so I think it could have something to do with a strange business that these people have, where they observe me and they want to get a reaction out of me for whatever reason, whether to, I don't know if they've stolen from me and already, and I don't know about it, or they've got something illegal going on with me, that that perhaps this is a hired organization, a group that does things for money, that they harass and attack, but all very hush hush, so that it doesn't appear as if they are freaky people, that do things for hire, to attack people for a reason, for whatever reason it is. I don't know. So and it could be to try to make me behave irrationally, or have it appear that I am behaving irrationally. Like, for instance, this guy next door saying that I stared at his son, and so he felt the need to call 911, which was a very strange thing for, like he's this guy that looks like he can really take care of himself, that he's not one to be, you know, alarmed by somebody just standing in their yard and looking at them. So, and I wasn't even looking at him. I was worried about the little boy because I know these people use their children they weaponize their children. Is a word I recently was listening to on TV, but they use their children to for whatever their purposes are, for their business or for their cult or for their whatever they do. So I got really worried about the dog, the poor little old dog that was standing there so confused, and the front door was open, but there was nobody there. The dog was just standing there, and he was looking at me like, come and get me, I'm ready to go home or whatever, and and it was the same thing with this little puppy, this little dog that I just picked up and brought home with me, and nobody did a thing. Nobody came and said, "Oh, thank you for, or this is my doggy, have been looking for my dog," or whatever. Nothing like that ever happened, because these people have these animals, and they do something with them. They either use them, if it's a setup, if it's a thing that they're not actually hurting these animals or harming them. Although I've seen dead animals like raccoons. I've seen dead raccoons around here at different times. And so if they're not actually harming the animals, they're using them like they use the children. And it's something that is really grimy. It's a really dirty business that they're doing, if that's what they're doing. If they're not harming the animals, they're using them. So I don't know, to make it appear as something. So I'm just telling you what is going on around here. It's a very strange place. So, but it's, I think every once in a while I should just check in and tell you what is going on. I think they probably have control of the views, or who can even see these videos. There's because they're they with my phone and stuff, and they monitor, and that's their thing. That's part of their business, is they monitor. And so these kind of videos, even though it's good to get it out, I think only a limited amount of people are able to see these videos. So maybe, I don't know. I keep hoping. I think it's a good thing that at least I know what these people are. I know, and I think times are changing. Things are changing where people like this just won't have the purchase that they won't have the access to, and they won't have the ability, and people won't be able to hire people like this to do stuff like this anymore, because it just won't exist anymore, because it's a bad thing, and it's been allowed to go on for so long, and the world will be a better place when these people are cleared out. That they, because they lack the ability to learn from their mistakes, and they don't realize they are making mistakes. Um, the young ones are just too dumb and inexperienced to realize the hole that they're digging for themselves. And the older ones are just like they're hardened, they're criminals. So they don't really, they have a different mindset. They don't think in terms of just their world is different. Their world that they live in is different, and that world is dying. Is what I believe strongly. I believe that, and so it's something that shouldn't be hidden anymore. It shouldn't be in the dark anymore. People like this just won't exist anymore, is my feeling.